Hello and welcome to Bible-Based Podcast, a quiet place to rest and let God speak to you today.
Look, if you're anything like us, you're probably trying to make sense of this constant flood of news, especially around global events. It can feel, well, overwhelming sometimes. You're sort of searching for clarity in all that noise. God's unsleeping watch over Israel and our lives. Now, our aim here isn't really to explain, the day-to-day headlines directly. Instead, we want to pull out some timeless insights, maybe a fresh perspective from this particular source. We're going to explore how it kind of nudges us to shift away from, say, fear and more towards faith and preparation. And it does this by focusing on a specific bit of the Bible and what that means, both for nations like Israel and for our own lives. We'll unpack some, I think, pretty illuminating ideas about watchfulness, purpose, and importantly, hope. Ready to get into it.
Absolutely. And what's really central, the starting point for this piece, is how it immediately zeroes in on one single verse. That's its anchor, Psalm 121, verse 4. It says, "Indeed, he who watches over Israel will neither slumber nor sleep."
Yeah, it's so short, isn't it? But the piece really emphasizes the weight of it. It's concise, but wow, there's a lot packed in there.
There really is. And the author pulls out what they call two beautiful truths just from that line. First, this powerful idea that God is always watching. He's not, distant or off doing something else, not distracted.
Right, present.
Exactly. And second, that he's deeply involved, not just abstractly, but in the actual story of Israel, and crucially in our lives too, which naturally kind of leads to a question for you listening in. When things feel chaotic, what does it actually mean to you to think about a constant, steady watch over your life, over the world?
That's a big question, something many of us probably think about. And to give that context, the piece actually quotes the whole of Psalm 121. And it has this incredibly, reassuring feel to it, like a calm voice. It starts, "I lift up my eyes to the mountains. Where does my help come from?
Yeah.
My help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. He will not let your foot slip. He who watches over you will not slumber."
There it is again.
Indeed, he who watches over Israel will neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord watches over you. The Lord is your shade at your right hand. The sun will not harm you by day, nor the moon by night.
That's quite comprehensive protection.
It really is. The Lord will keep you from all harm. He will watch over your life. The Lord will watch over your coming and going both now and forevermore.
And the author gives us some background on that psalm. It's called the Song of Ascent. These weren't just random songs. They were part of a special collection. People would sing them as they traveled up towards Jerusalem for worship. Often a tough journey, right?
Or the pilgrimage.
Exactly. So the source presents it as this song of faith and assurance. It's basically saying, no matter what you face on your journey, no matter what's going on around you, your real help, your protection, it comes from the Lord.
It adds another layer, thinking about that journey context, physical and maybe spiritual too. And I really like how it ends with that broad promise, watching over your coming and going now and forever. It feels so complete, covering, everything. So we've got this idea of God's constant watch. Then the piece shifts focus a bit, emphasizing that Israel, in this context, isn't just a location on a map.
Right.
It's described more like a thread running all the way through the Bible story.
Yeah, and the text highlights some specific reasons for that significance, biblically speaking.
Yeah.
Points out, this is where the promises to Abraham were made, the whole covenant about land, descendants, foundational stuff. It's where Jesus lived, taught, performed miracles, and ultimately where he died and rose again. And significantly for many people, it's also the place where a lot of the Bible's end-time prophecies seem to unfold or center around.
But it's really important, and the author stresses this, right? That they explicitly warn against, jumping to conclusions or trying to know exact timelines.
Absolutely. That's a key caution.
Yeah. The point isn't date setting, it seems, but understanding Israel's ongoing role in this bigger theological picture.
Precisely. And to navigate the anxiety that talk of prophecy and conflict can bring, the piece brings in Matthew 24, verse 6. It quotes Jesus saying, "You will hear of wars and rumors of wars, but see to it that you are not alarmed. Such things must happen, but the end is still to come."
Okay, so the author boils that down to, don't panic, stay faithful, keep your eyes on God.
Simple, but maybe not easy. So how does the piece suggest we practically avoid alarm, especially when, the news cycle is just relentless? What's the thinking behind don't be alarmed?
Well, that connects directly to its core insight about prophecy itself. The author's really clear. The purpose of prophecy isn't fear, it's preparation. Think of it like a weather warning. It's not there to make you terrified of the storm.
Right. It's so you can get ready. Grab an umbrella, board up windows, whatever's needed. Exactly. It's about readiness. And crucially, the piece says that preparation always starts with the heart. It's an internal thing first, cultivating a kind of spiritual readiness, not just, reacting frantically to what's happening outside.
That reframing prophecy as preparation, not panic, feels, well, helpful, less reactive. So this leads us to the really practical stuff the author suggests for these kinds of times. 3 concrete actions. First, it says, pray for peace. And it points straight to Psalm 122, verse 6. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. May those who love you be secure.
Direct and specific.
Very. Second, anchor yourself in truth. And it makes a clear distinction here. Let the Bible shape your worldview, not necessarily, the endless scroll of social media.
A conscious choice of input.
Yes. And third, be a light. The idea being when times feel dark, people are looking for hope. So the piece encourages us to be the ones offering words of life, scripture, comfort.
And that last point, being a light. The source connects it beautifully to Romans 15, verse 4, which says, "For everything that was written in the past was written to teach us, so that through the endurance taught in the scriptures and the encouragement they provide, we might have hope." It really underlines the idea that these ancient texts aren't just like dusty history books.
No, they're meant to be active, a source of resilience, of hope right now.
Exactly. Therefore, endurance and encouragement leading to hope.
Which ties back perfectly to how the author sums it all up. They state very powerfully, the Bible isn't just history, it's hope. That really captures the essence, doesn't it? Offering a kind of pathway through uncertainty.
Right. And that leaves you, the listener, with something to think about. How might these perspectives, this idea of a constant watch, scripture as preparation, not panic, how might that resonate in your own life? Could it shift how you process current events or how you see your own role in things?
Thanks for resting here at Bible Base. See you on the next podcast. May God's peace walk with you.